All right. So let's start. Before we get started, just to make sure you have a couple blocks and a blanket nearby. And then when you're ready, let's start lying down on your back, any comfortable position here. All right, so first let's just take a moment to see where you have landed on your mat. So first, noticing the sensation of your breath. Noticing the quality of your breath. Is it shallow or deep? Quick or slow? Noticing where it catches and where it flows. I invite you here to take deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. Noticing what's going on in your body today. Is there any part of you that is calling out for your attention? Maybe an old injury acting up, a headache beginning, or maybe you're feeling something emotionally that is manifesting somehow in your body. So there is absolutely no judgment. We're just noticing. And if anything is coming up here, trying to get your attention, I invite you to imagine that your breath is energy. And as you inhale, sending energy to that part of you. And as you exhale, allowing the energy to flow through. This can be any kind of energy that you need. Maybe it's softening, relaxation. Maybe it's love, compassion. And then noticing anything that comes up in your mind. Are there any thoughts that you don't need during our practice today? And then not pushing them away, but breathing through them. Notice where you feel the thoughts in your body. Maybe it's just thoughts in your mind, a distraction. Trying not to engage with your thoughts, but notice that they are there. Label them for what they are, thoughts. memory. Maybe it's a sound. And allow them to go at their own time. So a few weeks ago, I started discussing the yamas, which are yoga's ethical practices. The first one being ahimsa, which is nonviolence. So, nonviolence in the way we act, speak, and think, not only to others, but also to ourselves. So, the next yama is Satya, which means truth, which is why I found it funny that we were doing it today on April Fool's. So it means honesty or truthfulness with your words, thoughts, and actions in our quest to become authentic. Is there any place for dishonesty, which is fundamentally inauthentic? Can we find our truth if we don't behave truthfully with others? To be dishonest means we are out of harmony with the world. Satya is complicated. When we are being truthful with others, we need to remember ahimsa, non-harm. If speaking truthfully hurts, then it may be best to hold your tongue. The world is a complicated place, and we have to do our best to act out of love and honesty. So finding your truth is about listening better to what you're already saying to yourself. Your innate wisdom is there. The answers are inside. There's nothing to be done, no finding to be done. All you have to do is listen. Through our practice today, I invite you to maybe ask what your personal truth is and to listen deeply to see what you hear. Okay, so making some small movements in your fingers and toes, rolling around wrists and ankles. And just to mention, there's no judgment with April Fools. It's not, this thing about truth is not a judgment about that. All right, maybe you take a big stretch here if that feels good for you. All right, so our class today focuses mostly on the lower body. So to begin, let's place both feet on the earth, knees are bent. And then I invite you to activate your right foot, so slightly curling back the toes and hugging the right knee in. Maybe you grab behind the thigh, maybe it's around the shin. Softening your shoulders. And then if it feels comfortable for you, extending the left leg long. And I invite you to just kind of explore to see where it feels best to point your knee. Sometimes it feels better to bring the knee a little bit more over towards the armpit, the right armpit. Once you find a comfortable place, maybe you relax the foot and soften the shoulders. Staying connected here with your breath. Deep inhales, long, slow exhales. So, one thing we have been exploring this week in a couple of classes is this idea from something Pema Chodron said. Your mind is the sky, and everything else is the weather. So, those thoughts that come in, any distractions from the present moment, allow them to come and allow them to go. And then what's left is the sky. That is your inner truth. And when you're ready, activating the right foot and placing that right foot onto the earth. Let's bring the left foot to the earth if it isn't already there. And then we're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh. So foot is active as we move. Maybe this is enough of a stretch here for the back of your right thigh. Maybe you take your hand and you push your right thigh away, or perhaps you draw the legs closer to your body and grabbing a hold of your left leg somewhere. Once you find that comfortable place to kind of settle, maybe you release the activation in your foot, or maybe you don't. Just notice what feels better for you. Where are you holding tension right now in your body? Can you soften and release? So, what is your personal truth? What do you hear here when you listen? Perhaps you take this opportunity to hear your heartbeat and hear your inner self. So about 1 more minute in this shape. All right, let's activate that right foot and place the left foot on the earth, keeping the cross in your leg. All right, so from here, we're going to shift our hips over towards the right side of the mat just a little bit. So maybe pushing into that left foot, sliding the hips over. If this is comfortable for you, finding a twist this way. If not, I'll give you another variation. So allowing your legs to drop over towards the left side. Perhaps that right foot comes to the earth. If it's in your body, maybe the left hand reaches for the right ankle and gently bringing that ankle a little bit closer to your waist. For some people, it's comfortable to kind of inch that foot closer, the left foot. Oh my goodness, which one's left and right when we're all twisted? And grabbing a hold of the left foot with the right hand. If this is not comfortable, then just allowing both legs to drop over towards the left side. So, what is your body telling you here? Is there something you need to do to adjust to make this shape feel better in your body? Or is something else coming up for you? About 1 more minute in this shape. When you're ready, activating the right foot, drawing the legs back up and uncrossing your legs. Maybe take a moment here to stretch the legs out long and notice the difference from one side to the other. Notice if there's maybe some tingling sensation somewhere. And there's no right or wrong. We're just noticing. All right, so let's bring both feet back to the earth. The knees are bent, feet are hip distance apart, allowing your back to come flat on the earth. This time, activating the left foot, hugging the left knee in towards you. Maybe the right foot stays on the earth, or perhaps you extend that right leg long. Where does it feel good to send the left knee? Did you find that place? Perhaps you soften the left foot. This is a good time to soften the shoulders. Softening your forehead. Noticing the sensations you feel in your jaw. Noticing your upper jaw. And then imagining that you are softening both the inside and the outside of your ears. Notice what happens, what changes happen. Softening the lower jaw. Noticing where it feels best to rest your tongue, what helps your jaw to stay relaxed. We have one more minute here. And whenever you're ready, releasing that left foot to the earth. Gently placing the right foot on the earth if it isn't already there. Knees are bent. This time, activating the left foot and crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. Find your variation of this pose that feels good for you on this side. Once you find a comfortable place, perhaps you release the activation of that left foot. Again, checking in with the shoulders, checking in with the face. listening deep within. And when you're ready, activating the left foot and bringing that right foot to the earth if it isn't already there. Again, option here if you wish. Uh, Sliding the hips over towards the left side of the mat a little bit, and then allowing the legs to drop to the right. Perhaps that left foot comes to the earth. If this is not comfortable for you, stacking your knees instead. So option two, find the left ankle with the right hand. Oh my goodness. And then if it's in your body, maybe you walk that bottom foot over. I'm done with left and right. The hand that's unoccupied, maybe you grab that foot. So finding your truth in this pose. What feels good? Does something feel wrong, uncomfortable? Is there burning? Is there pain? Maybe this side needs something different. Listening to your body, being honest with what you need, being honest with how you can practice nonviolence. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. Notice any sensations that are coming up for you in your body. Maybe there's something that's a sensation that's starting to creep in. Totally normal. Breathing through that sensation. All right, releasing your feet here. If you have a hold them, activate that left foot as you bring the legs back to center. Uncross the legs. Oh, and bring the legs long. Notice what you feel. What sensations are happening in your left side? All right, let's bring both feet back to the earth. Knees are bent. I actually forgot to pose through that sequence, but that's okay. We'll find it now. All right, so first we're going to start in a happy baby, and then we'll find a half happy baby or stirrup pose. So bringing the feet up towards the sky, feet are active, knees come out towards the side, and it's entirely up to you. Perhaps you grab the backs of the thighs, maybe somewhere on the lower legs, perhaps the feet or the big toes, grabbing the big toes with your peace fingers. I'm just going to take a few rounds of breath first in this full happy baby. Maybe here, find some movements that feels good for you. Maybe you stretch one leg and then the other. All right, so from here, we're going to keep a hold of the right side, allowing the left foot to come to the earth, either with a bent knee, or perhaps you straighten the left leg long. Allow that right knee to sink down towards the right side, towards the earth. And see if you can use your arm more like a weight rather than actively trying to pull that right foot down. Try to keep the left hip on the earth and soften. Allowing the shoulders to melt. Notice where your mind has gone. Notice what weather has come up. Any thoughts, distraction. Try to label them, don't engage with them. Maybe you breathe lovingly through them. And whenever you're ready, gently, we'll do this. We're going to bring the left foot back up, back into our full happy baby. Activate the left foot. And notice how different it feels here. And then whenever you're ready, dropping the right foot to the earth, perhaps extending that right leg long. Allowing the shoulders to melt down. So I have a quote, but I don't know who it's by. Strength comes from living your truth. To be true and authentic is your path to happiness, peace, and joy. You may be mocked by others, but they have no power over you, for you have discovered the power within. From here, gently releasing your left foot down towards the earth. Extend the left leg long. Taking a few rounds of breath here. And then slowly rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then making your way up to seated. Hey, look, we're actually up. All right. So if you have blocks nearby, you may wish to use them during this next pose. Okay, so I'm going to give you two options depending on what's going on here with your hips and just naturally what feels better for you. So it's fire log. If fire log is not comfortable, then you're going to be Sukhasana, crisscross applesauce. Okay, and always know that if you need to, you can find a block to place underneath the knees. So fire log. What we'll do is we'll all start here on the same side. So we're going to activate the right foot as we draw the shin down to the floor so that it's going the same direction as the edge of the mat. And then we activate the left foot and we stack that right foot on top of the left knee. If you need a block underneath, feel free to grab one. If you need to move out of this pose, be sure to activate the feet first to protect the knees as you move out. Okay, so maybe you are here in our fire log, or maybe you're in your crisscross applesauce, okay? So find your sits bones, keep the feet active as you do this. That comfortable place to sit. And then you have options. You can stay up tall if this is all you need. Or if you wish, find length in your spine, hands come out in front, hinge forward from the hips, send the heart forward. Keeping length in the spine. And then maybe you soften your feet. Maybe you start to come forward a little more. If you don't have any back issues, perhaps you round your spine. So the practice of Satya is a moving target, practice of truth. What we believe in and what is right for us is always changing from day to day. Life is not one way all the time. So to practice Satya, we need to continually assess and question what is true at this moment. When we look at our life, we may understand that some of the truths we held dearly about ourselves and others may not be true at this moment. Lies from the past may have slipped into our present version of the truth. Maybe someone with good intentions told you something that you believed in, and these words have bound you to a thought that is no longer real or true. And gently come out of this side. So activating your feet. If you're folded forward, slowly coming back up. Feet continue to stay active as you uncross your legs. And then we'll switch over. Give them a shake if you need. And then we're going to switch over to the other side. So left leg first. Yes, left leg comes down first. Activate the right foot, crossing it over. Maybe you find a block. If you were in your easy seated pose, you're just changing the cross of your legs. Whichever one is in front becomes the one that's behind. Okay, inhale to lengthen your spine. Maybe you stay here. Exhale, perhaps you fold forward with active feet. Once you find a comfortable place, relaxing the feet. Satya asks us to be brave, to gently untangle and challenge our beliefs so we can unburden ourselves of what is no longer valid. It asks us to be honest in what we are doing with our lives, who we are in relationship with, and in our intentions. It asks us to be non judgmental so we can welcome and examine all parts of ourselves, our limitations, and the places we have chosen to ignore. It asks us to stop lying to ourselves, and in doing so, walking fearlessly through our lives. One more round of breath here. And then activating your feet, slowly coming back up. All right, feet are active to uncross. Maybe you stretch out the legs, feel the sensations, perhaps give them a shake. And then you're going to find Shavasana or any final resting shape on the earth that feels good for you. Maybe it's lying on your back, side body, front body. Maybe you use lots of props to get nice and comfy, cozy. And once you make your way down, lowering or closing your eyes. So, in this space of silence, before you move back into the world, listen again to your deepest voice. There is nothing to fear from turning within and listening to the desires that you hear. Listen for your truth. And a final quote here by Joseph Campbell about following your truth or following your bliss in this case here. Follow your bliss. If you do follow your bliss, you put yourself on a kind of track that has always been there all the while waiting for you. And the life you ought to be living is the one that you are living. When you can see that, you begin to meet people who are in the field of your bliss, and they open the doors for you. I say, follow your bliss and don't be afraid, and doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. If you follow your bliss, doors will open for you that wouldn't have been opened for anyone else. Making some small movements here in your fingers and toes. Maybe these become bigger movements. Whenever you feel ready, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. And then slowly making your way to seated. And once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. Taking deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. As you inhale, I invite you to inhale peace, love, and self compassion. And as you exhale, perhaps you send that out to someone else in our practice or in the world. I honor our practice of yoga. I honor all of our teachers who have come from India and all the others, all those who have come before us, who have brought this beautiful practice of freedom to us. I honor all of you for being here today, showing up and doing whatever it was that your body and your mind needed. And I honor this space that we are in, this virtual space that allows us to still come together and practice together. May you go in peace, love, and gratitude. Have a beautiful evening and a good weekend.